Breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Intense moments in court. More emotional statements on day 3 of the Austin Thompson sentencing hearing. We will share new testimony from the courtroom.
And the precipitation is moving out just for this afternoon. Tomorrow, our next weather maker will bring us some showers to kick off the weekend. I'll walk you through the timeline.
Plus, time for a change. Governor Josh Stein says the state's mental health system needs to work better.
Tears and anger on the stand this morning in the sentencing hearing for Austin Thompson. Thanks for joining us. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Chris Levingood. Thompson admitted to killing 5 people in the Hedingham neighborhood in Raleigh back in 2022. And WRAL senior reporter Megan Clardy is monitoring that hearing. Megan, we were talking a little bit before we went on air. This was just a very emotional day, and we heard again from the widow of the police officer killed in that rampage.
Chris, we heard from Jasmine Torres and her memories of desperately trying to save her husband, who was shot multiple times as he was waiting to say goodbye to her before he left for work that day. She is now left to raise their daughter without him.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Torres.
2 days after she testified, Jasmine Torres took the stand again to deliver her statement of how her life was impacted after Thompson killed her husband, Gabriel.
Look at me, Austin. You stole his life. You stole my life. You stole my daughter's life. You had no right. None.
Torres addressed the loss of each victim.
He just could not get enough of the action, clearly. So much so that he entered the Greenway and destroyed even more lives. Mary was set to be married. Sue was taken away from her husband and 3 baby boys.
Torres says she now lives with PTSD, sleep and memory loss, and depression. She then described the impact on her now 5-year-old daughter, Layla, who she said she wouldn't let come to the hearing.
So instead, she asked me to record her. And I'd like to share what Layla has to say. Because Layla is also a victim here, and she also has a voice. And you took her, Daddy.
If you could talk to the person who killed your dada, what would you say to that person?
Say sorry to my dada. I miss him so much.
Yeah? Does it hurt you that dada's not here?
Yes.
Incredibly emotional. Yesterday, we heard from Thompson's mother, who the defense plans to call to the stand again. This afternoon, his father, Alan, testified, and you'll hear more about what he had to say coming up at 12:30.
Oh, thank you for bringing that to us, Megan. Goodness. And all the testimony we have heard this week, this will factor into the judge's decision on whether to allow Austin Thompson to have the opportunity for parole. Right now on the WRAL YouTube page, you can look back at the witnesses and the experts that have already been called to the stand. That includes officers who responded to the scene, survivors of the shooting, and family members. It's all on our WRAL YouTube page.
Happening now in the WRAL Live Center. We're just about an hour away from an update from the Pima County Sheriff's Office about the search for this woman here, Nancy Guthrie, of course, the mom of Savannah Guthrie, anchor of the Today Show. We'll try to see if we can come back to our live picture here in the Live Center so we can show you a video here that Savannah posted of her speaking along with her siblings. They were just asking if the person or persons who has their mother, if they could come forward, that they're willing to talk. We also know that there have been reports of some ransom notes to 2 news outlets. No law enforcement has confirmed those reports, but we can also take you to some video so you can see a candlelight vigil that was yesterday in honor of Nancy. Again, 1 o'clock this afternoon is when we're expecting to get that update. You can watch that on WRAL.com. Kelsey, thank you. Governor Stein has just signed an executive order aimed at bridging the gap between mental health care and criminal justice. WRAL state government reporter Caroline Yaffa tells us how the governor plans to put this into action after recent high-profile incidents that police say involve suspects with mental illness. Caroline.
Yeah, just moments ago, Governor Stein signed a new executive order right behind me in the governor's mansion. And he says this order will help improve mental health care and give the right help to the people who need it. So during Governor Stein's speech, he made several references to several high-profile killings in the state that have been blamed on people with histories of mental illness. He says agencies need to work together to make sure the right resources are given to people to stop this from happening even before it starts.
If people do not have the support that they need in place when they get out, it's all the more likely they will repeat the behaviors that led them to getting incarcerated in the first place.
Now, Governor Stein told us that several state agencies will start working on this right away, but he says many fixes depend on the work from the General Assembly because the General Assembly still does not have a new state budget. So we reached out to spokespeople for Senate Leader Phil Berger and Speaker Destin Hall's office, and we have not heard back about what the ongoing discussions may consist of. Caroline Yaffa, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Happening today, Cary Town Council is expecting to learn the results of an independent audit. The town's finances are under scrutiny after the former manager left. Sean Stiegel resigned months ago and is now under investigation. Town leaders say they are looking forward to receiving the report.
Happening now in the WRAL Live Center, the FBI is launching a civil rights investigation into a former RPD officer. The FBI is investigating Tremel Cogdell. You may remember this man from just the end of last year. He was accused of coercing a crash victim into sexual favors to avoid DWI charges. So warrants in the past have showed that he's been accused of prior misconduct. So the FBI right now, they are searching for potential witnesses or victims for this civil rights investigation. There is a digital intake form that we have on our website, WRAL.com. If you have any information, you can submit it there.
Well, our next weather maker brings rain during the evening commute tomorrow. And meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with a look at just how much rain we could see and just how cold temperatures are going to get, Elizabeth.
It looks like it's going to be fairly light, and temperatures behind this will be cold. But this one just looks like a rain event with a small chance of it mixing with a few flurries toward the end, but no accumulation. Here's what's happening right now. The low pressure is sliding on out, and we will see our second front coming in tomorrow. So here's where it's likely to be as we're getting into the middle of the day tomorrow. We'll start to see it crossing the state. It's mainly going to be light rain. It's more likely that we'll see it during the late afternoon and then all the way up until maybe 9 or 10 o'clock. So if you do have plans to be out for Friday evening, if you're going to a movie or to dinner, you might be dealing with some rain, and it'll be a chilly rain. Once the front moves out, we're going to see a lot colder air moving in. It'll be windy and chilly for us on Saturday. We'll take a look at Futurecast. This is lunchtime on Friday with a little bit of sunshine, and then into the afternoon, we'll see the clouds thickening up, and by around 4 o'clock, we start to see scattered rain. We'll have a better chance of it being a little heavier from the triangle area northward. The southern portion of this looks a lot lighter. This is 6 p.m., so fairly wet. If you're going to be heading out of town, maybe on Friday, you know, it's already a really busy time. Add rain to that, and it can be really, really messy. By 9 or 10 o'clock, it is all over, and then we'll see clearing skies with some very cold temperatures. Here's a look at our forecast for the weekend. 48 degrees for tomorrow for the high temperature, but then we're going to drop it into the 20s by Saturday morning. Saturday will be breezy, chilly, but sunny, a high of 39. A bit more cloud cover on Sunday with a high of 40 degrees as we look toward the Super Bowl. As a matter of fact, we'll take a look at our Super Bowl party forecast coming up in just a bit.
All right, sounds great, Elizabeth. Well, I want to show you some video right now of some weather-related crashes that we saw this morning in eastern Wake County. Slick spots led to overturned cars and closed roads. WRAL's Flynn Snyder shows us the spots that gave the most trouble.
Among the worst problem spots we saw this morning was right here on Riley Hill Road, where we're told 6 cars were involved in 3 separate crashes. Cell phone video from a driver involved shows it best. An overturned car in a ditch. Another driver on her way to work was forced to hit mailboxes to avoid even more crashes. Lauren Ellis says she was rear-ended on the way to work when she drove up on the wrecks.
The car was flipped over. It was awful. It was a pickup truck, and then the whole smaller sedan car flipped over on top of its side, and I was really worried.
Icy roads caused several problems near Wendell. This truck ended up in a tree line on Prevent Road. A van went off the roadway on Turnipseed Road. Sheriff's deputies forced to reroute traffic as trucks cleared the mangled mess. Ellis is among the drivers now needing an unexpected tow.
Is that something that you expected to be this bad this morning?
No, I mean, I knew they called for sleet last night, and I knew it rained a little bit, but so far the roads had looked pretty clear, so I wasn't expecting any type of sleet on the roads at all this morning.
And back on Riley Hill Road, during the closure, crews brought in a DOT brine truck to lay salt to help break up some of the ice. It does appear to be working, with cars now able to move more easily here on the roadway. Officials are reminding you to just use caution if you do have to be out this morning on the roadways. Glenn Snyder, WRAL News in Wake County.
And we are working to learn the extent of any injuries from these crashes.
You can track local weather conditions on the WRAL weather app. It's free to download from your phone's app store. Make sure to turn on push notifications so you can get important weather alerts sent right to your home screen. Next at noon, Olympics opening ceremony. We are just hours away from the massive show to officially kick off the games. See what's being done to prepare for it.
Plus, Nike DEI probe. The investigation happening now as Nike is accused of discriminating against white people.
Shooting in Nash County. What we know about a suspect's encounter with deputies as we try to get clarity on who shot whom.
Coming up next, sea storms moving in with WRAL's exclusive Dual Doppler 5000. Sponsored by the WRAL weather app. Download now for live radar.
Ukraine's defense ministry claims that it disrupted Russia's military communications. That announcement was made after Starlink took steps to stop what it says was Russia's unauthorized use of their satellite internet. Russia's Ministry of Defense has not addressed the claims of Starlink disruptions. Ukraine's defense minister says the next step is to ensure authorized Starlink satellites only work on Ukraine's territory.
And Ukraine and Russia officials are calling day 2 of peace talks productive. Both sides conducted a major prisoner swap and agreed to resume negotiations soon. 314 prisoners of war were exchanged today at the Ukrainian border. One sticking point, land in the Donetsk region. Russia is demanding that Ukraine relinquish the area, but Kyiv refuses to comply. However, both sides have agreed to return to the negotiating table.
Well, we are hours away from the opening ceremony for the 2026 Winter Olympics. The event officially kicks off 19 days of competition that you can see only right here on WRAL. Italians stressed that they did not want U.S. immigration personnel at the games. And this morning, the Chief of Security and Athletic Services for the U.S. addressed those concerns.
I think when it comes to securing major events, a lot of people don't know what are the capacities and the capabilities and the resources that are needed. So there's a lot of misinformation and assumptions that are made. And I think this inaccuracy that ICE is here on the ground securing the games was one of those. So I'm glad we were able to set the record straight and provide on the ground truth that ICE is not part of the Team USA delegation.
And for a closer look at the final preparations, here's NBC's Jay Gray.
On the eve of the opening ceremony,
the excitement is really building. Really, you can just feel it.
And all signs seem to indicate northern Italy is ready for these games to begin.
Venues are ready. It's been done incredible work in the last few weeks, and it will be astounding. And you will notice that.
From the stadium and arenas in Milan to the slopes and sliding tracks in the mountains, these Winter Olympics will feature 16 sports and a record 116 events with 735 medals up for grabs. Team USA hoping to bring home its share and more with the largest American presence ever in a Winter Games, 232 athletes, and at least one famous friend snooping around Milan who says the gold, silver, or bronze won't necessarily define the winners here.
When we have the Olympics, it's what brings the world together. So you guys as athletes, y'all got a big mission at hand. It's not just winning your events or coming to put on a great performance, but it's the status of showing the world what love looks like.
An Olympic message that rings true for so many right now. And look, believe it or not, we're actually going to have some competition today, a day ahead of the opening ceremony, which is common at the Olympics. They've got a lot of competition to get in, so they usually start a day or so ahead of the opening ceremony. U.S. women's hockey gets started today. Snowboarding has men's big air qualifying, and curling starts with mixed doubles. Jay Gray, NBC News, Milan.
And of course, you can watch the opening ceremony of the Milan Cortina Olympics live on WRAL Friday afternoon. What you're seeing right now is a live look from that area there, as a lot of people are getting prepared for all the excitement and, of course, that celebration to kick off the ceremony. The spectacular celebration featuring the Parade of Nations and the lighting of the cauldron will replay on WRAL in prime time, and that is at 8 p.m.
No matter who wins Super Bowl 60, history will be made this Sunday. That's because a Seattle woman will become the first female to engineer a Super Bowl radio broadcast. Brenna Rogers will be in the booth Sunday engineering the play-by-play. Rogers says every once in a while she'll stop to take it all in to remind herself that she's a trailblazer.
It's a really hard field to get into for women, and add on top of that the STEM aspect, and it's even harder. And so it's like I got my foot in the door, now I'm going to hold the door open for everyone behind me.
The games are making history overall in the context of gender equity. For the first time, 47% of athletes are women, and women are competing in 12 of 16 disciplines. And some of them are mothers as well. Elizabeth Gardner now joining me, and I know you're excited about the Olympics, the snowboarding, and she was channeling her inner Chloe Kim this morning.
She's a lot younger than I am. But it's so cool to see, how snowboarding has come along, and, just to see what a star she's been, for younger gals to look up to. So
exciting stuff.
Yes. We even channeled some of our, inner winter over the weekend, and now we're going to kind of settle back. It's going to be a chilly weekend for us. We have more rain in our forecast. We definitely need some. This is a look at our low pressure system moving away and taking along the precipitation that we saw yesterday and overnight last night. I know you're watching that band of snow back there, but none of that is likely to have an impact here on us. We're going to be waiting for our next front, though, that will help to bring us some rain late tomorrow. This is a live look at Southern Pines, and you can see the gray skies. It's possible that we could see the clouds breaking up a little bit late this afternoon. We should clear somewhat overnight tonight, and that will allow our temperatures to really drop. But it's chilly out there right now, 35 degrees. We have a wind north at 8 miles per hour, so there's a little bit of a wind chill. Temperatures will climb up to around 40 degrees later this afternoon, again with a few holes, a few breaks in the clouds. It's pretty chilly, though. We have a wind chill of 24 in Fayetteville. It feels like 29 in Southern Pines and around the Triangle. It feels like 24 up in Roxborough. So no matter where you are, it does feel more like mid to upper 20s with our temperatures actually above freezing. Here's a look at current temperatures right around the Triangle. Almost everybody's sitting 34, 35, 36 from Fuquay-Varina all the way to Durham, all the way over to Knightdale and back to Chapel Hill. So temperatures are fairly uniform for us. Our normal low is 33, and we're going to see a very cold start again tomorrow morning. It wasn't as cold this morning. We were in the upper 20s to low 30s, and then not quite as chilly Saturday, but we're looking at 17 on Sunday morning. So, we're not getting out of winter anytime soon, at least not in the next 4 or 5 days. Our normal high is 54, so we're definitely colder than that today. A little warmer Friday, which is why we're just looking at rain with this next system that comes in. Our highs over the weekend are going to be right around 39, 40, and then after that, we begin to see a little bit of a change. We're going to see more of a wind shift to southerly, and that's going to help to warm us up, but not in time for the weekend. Behind Friday's front, it'll be breezy and chilly. Winds could be gusting 30, 35 miles per hour, and we'll see a high of 41. Stays cold on Sunday with that high of 42, but I figure probably a lot of people will be inside at Super Bowl parties. If you're wishing for San Francisco weather, they're going to see mid-60s at game time on Sunday. But here's what's headed our way. By the time we get to the middle of the month, we'll have a good chance of above average temperatures. And again, our average high temperature is in the low to mid-50s right now. So what does that look like? Well, 58 on Tuesday and 61 on Wednesday. So that will be nice to see. It is Thursday, and of course, we haven't had a lot of rain. The drought monitor comes out on Thursdays. We'll take a look at that in relation to the rain that we've seen in the last week coming up.
Happening now in the WRAL Live Center, some good news for everyone in Nashville, North Carolina. The boil water advisory has been lifted. This comes, of course, after the water was shut down earlier in the week. It comes after the town issued an apology after saying the water issues were a result of 5 major water main breaks in the city of Rocky Mount. Now, City of Rocky Mount officials say that while the city is experiencing isolated water leaks due to winter weather, continuous water service has been maintained. So we'll be sure to keep you updated on anything else with the water, but you should be good to go.
Kelsey, thanks for that update. Coming up on WRAL News at 5, the Battle of the Blues brings out diehard sports fans and a frenzy for tickets to get in. But now more than ever is the time to make sure those tickets are legitimate. We'll explain the bizarre error that was caught by a season ticket holder.
And tonight at 6, what we learned from the Cary Towns Council's independent audit report, which leaders are receiving today.
The Duke nurse charged with performing sex acts with patients who were incapacitated appeared in Durham County Court today. Jamil Tagato was there in person for his arraignment. His attorney has filed a motion for discovery, meaning they want to see all of the evidence in the case. Duke has fired Tagato. His next court date will be in March. A scam alert to tell you about now involving this weekend's Battle of the Blues face-off between Duke and UNC. State Attorney General Jeff Jackson says social media posts are trying to trick people. Scammers will post about needing to sell their tickets because of some sort of family emergency. The DOJ says they will then send counterfeit tickets. It's warning people to stick to reputable platforms before buying tickets.
The EEOC is investigating unspecified allegations that Nike discriminates against white people, specifically their employees. The filing from the EEOC refers to all white employees, former employees, prospective employees who may be adversely affected. Nike says that it already shared thousands of pages of information in compliance with the government subpoena. Since becoming EEOC chair, Andrea Lucas shifted priorities to address discrimination against white people. Spotify users worldwide can now enjoy music lyrics in different languages. Spotify launched a lyric translation feature for its premium users, and songs will now include a translate icon. This will provide translated lyrics in the device's default language below the original.
Netflix has not responded to outrage over a documentary featuring former First Lady Michelle Obama. This weekend becoming soared to 47.5 million viewers. However, some subscribers were upset the documentary was recategorized as a kids film. And this comes as Melania, the documentary about current First Lady Melania Trump, earned $7 million at the weekend box office. The film cost $75 million to produce and market.
We are staying on top of breaking news in the Austin Thompson sentencing hearing. We're going to hear more testimony from the stand. That's coming up in just a bit.
Violent confrontation. We are live in Nash County where a domestic situation ended in gunfire. What we know about the investigation this noon. And here's a look at the winning North Carolina Education Lottery numbers.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
And we have breaking news we've been following. Within the past 30 minutes, we have learned that a domestic call in Nash County ended in a deadly shooting.
WRAL's Carly Haynes joins us live from Nash County. And Carly, you spoke with the sheriff earlier.
And we're hoping to learn even more about what happened during a news conference set to be held at the sheriff's office in just a few hours. Our WRAL breaking news tracker was at the scene overnight. This was around midnight. And then in the past 30 minutes, we have learned that the man who was shot has died. Now, what happened during that shooting is still unclear, but we do know Nash County Sheriff Keith Stone said no deputies were hurt. Broadcastify radio traffic shows what dispatchers in Nash County were relaying to deputies about the man involved.
Have a male subject holding a knife up to a female's throat. Male subject holding a knife up to a female's throat currently.
He just got off the phone with his son. It was public service with me. He wanted to tell him he loved him and was not going to back down.
The SBI is investigating this. That is standard anytime there is a shooting involving a member of law enforcement. Carly Haynes, WRAL News, live in Nash County.
Democrats and Republicans are pushing back against President Trump's calling for Republicans to nationalize elections. This happened after new body cam footage released yesterday. It showed FBI agents searching the Fulton County Elections Office in Georgia. Agents left with hundreds of boxes of ballots and documents related to the 2020 election. Lawmakers say they are against the idea of nationalizing elections, including U.S. Senator from North Carolina, Tom Tillis.
Do you think I'm going to vote for it? Do you think other members in at-risk states should be voting for something like that? Do you think that that's a winning message for people to keep a majority in the Senate, which I am trying desperately to do?
It is clear that what happened in Fulton County is not about revisiting.
February is National Self-Check Month. They're extremely important for early cancer detection, but also for identifying other illnesses. Doctors say self-checks are crucial for identifying anything abnormal. That includes blood and urine, bumps and bruises that will not heal, and sudden changes in your bowel habits. And doctors are suggesting that you perform regular skin checks and you make note of moles and spots.
Sometimes I look at them as sort of like your check engine light on the car, just like there would be a red flashing light that tells you that there's something wrong with the car and prompts you to bring that in and get serviced. Your body does the same thing. It gives you warning signs to look into that symptom a little bit further.
Medical professionals say self-checks are not meant to replace cancer screenings.
Novo Nordisk says the pill version of the weight loss medication Wegovy is in high demand right after it hit the market. Since Wegovy's pill launch in early January, 50,000 prescriptions have been filled each week. 9 out of 10 of those prescriptions were paid for out of pocket. The pill comes at a much lower cost than the injectable version. Cash price ranges from about $150 to $300 a month. Some sounds that are meant to help people fall asleep may actually be bad for sleep quality. Pink noise has been compared to sounds of rain and ocean waves. A new study found those environmental sounds reduce stage 3 sleep by 25 minutes. Stage 3 is the deepest sleep state and most important for cognitive function and memory. The study also found that pink noise reduced time in REM sleep by 18 minutes. REM sleep is when dreaming occurs and is crucial for mood regulation and mental focus. Experts recommend people who use sound machines to play it at a low volume and to set a timer so it does not play through the night.
Happening now in the WRAL Live Center, U.S. job openings fell to the lowest number they've been in more than 5 years. That number is 6.5 million, according to the Labor Department. This is the fewest that it's been since 2020. So that number again, 6.5 million. It's down from 6.9 million the month before. And really just our economy in general is a mixed bag now. The gross domestic product, the GDP, you hear about that all the time. That's the cost of goods and services. That's strong, but the labor market here seems to be not as steady.
Thank you for that update, Kelsey. Gothic Ice Chapel. How some college students in the Midwest took advantage of the cold temperatures to build this very detailed igloo.
Bringing good fortune. The blonde bully from the Harry Potter series has a new role. Why Draco Malfoy is welcomed in China for the Lunar New Year. WRAL Investigates has learned new development is on hold in a big chunk of Durham. Why? The sewage system is at full capacity. WRAL Investigates Sarah Kruger talked with landowners who are impacted for tonight's investigation that will air at 6 o'clock.
This was a shock to them. They bought land planning to build on it, and now they can't. And what's even more frustrating to them, they say, is they found out about this through the grapevine, not even from the city itself. This is a letter that is buried on the city's website. It's one that landowners stumbled across and are now sharing with each other, yet say they've gotten no official announcement from the city. It explains that sewage for a roughly 5 square mile area in the eastern part of the city is at full capacity. capacity. And that means the city is not approving any new sewer hookups, at least for now. The landowners and developers I spoke with say this is unprecedented.
I've never heard of this happening, no. Never thought in a million years this would be an issue that could potentially happen.
There's been no announcements from the city. I watch every single council meeting. I watch every single work session meeting.
Now their plans for their lots are stalled. They have so many questions, and so do we. Tonight, I'm asking the city how many projects are impacted, what they're doing to help, and I'll explain why a fix could be at least 3 years away. Sarah Kruger, WRAL News in Durham.
Some intersections in downtown Raleigh will be shut down tonight for water system repairs. Impacted areas include South McDowell Street at West Target, South McDowell at West Martin, and West Martin at South Salisbury. Detours will be in place starting at 8 tonight.
All right, so instead of curling up with a good book during the frosty forecast, some students in the Midwest came together to make this. It's a masterpiece, really. It all started with one igloo at Notre Dame University in Indiana. Then the community decided, well, we got to make a whole ice chapel, and they call it the St. Olaf Ice Chapel. The icy structure features pointed arches and a central tower there, and it mirrors Notre Dame's iconic basilica. Visitors can even walk through this structure, and I just love ingenuity like that. All the work they had to go into that, Elizabeth, you want to go inside it, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. I totally do. Hey, and I would love to have done that too instead of my homework.
Oh, look, I would absolutely do that. But all we've been having is some powdery snow recently, so no real chance for igloo, but not really anything right now. It's pretty calm.
Yeah, we had, some cold temperatures this morning, a couple of slick spots in parts of Wake County, but things are going to be pretty quiet for us. Not really warming up anytime soon, but still not looking at any weather that's going to cause us a lot of problems, at least on the roads. Taking a look down Fayetteville Street on our Jimmy V camera, you can see people walking around. You can see cloudy skies there as we take a look down toward Memorial Auditorium. 35 is our current temperature. We have a wind out of the north at 8 miles per hour. A few minutes ago, we were talking about the fact that it does feel more like mid to upper 20s out there right now with that wind. Check out the visible satellite. This is a high resolution satellite, and you can see the bright white areas are where the clouds are the thickest, and we're starting to clear a little bit. Mecklenburg County, Person County, Halifax County, Northampton County, starting to see a little bit of sunshine peeking through there. Gradually, we'll start to see the clouds pushing down across or pushing away from the triangle and out to sea. But it's going to take some time. So it depends on how far you are north. The farther north you are, the more sunshine you're going to see. Our wind is coming out of the north, so pushing all that away as our low pulls offshore, kind of working together to get that cloud cover out of here. Looking at the rain that we ended up seeing yesterday, I was driving through it down I-40. I was like, oh, this is not fun to drive through, but I was so happy that we were seeing rain around the triangle. We didn't see a whole lot. We were maybe a trace to a tenth, but we definitely south and east of the triangle saw a bit more. Parts of over there in Edgecombe County saw about a half an inch. We saw that around Smithfield and Goldsboro. And then down to the east of Fayetteville here in Sampson County, we had as much as about a third, or three-quarters of an inch of rain. That, of course, happened yesterday, and they stopped collecting data for the drought monitor on Tuesday. So we didn't have a whole lot of rain from week to week. And so we still have severe drought across our entire viewing area and across much of the state as well. We're still looking at about 35 to 55% of our average rainfall over the last 30 days. So we definitely could use some rain. We will have some rain. It's probably only going to be maybe a tenth or a quarter of an inch when this comes through from the triangle area northward tomorrow. And it's likely to be fairly late in the day. We'll start off with a little sunshine in the morning, and then we'll see our increasing chance for rain mid to late afternoon. Some snow up to the north and west, but none of that for us until maybe right as it's moving out. This version of Futurecast doesn't show that changeover, but it wouldn't be completely out of the question to see a few flurries as it ends, but we shouldn't see any accumulation. So looking at, of course, about a 30 to 40% chance of rain for tomorrow. Futurecast not showing a whole lot, but when you take a look at the model there, it looks like it may be a little bit heavier. A cold night tonight, clear skies 22, looking at 48 for Friday, and then a chilly weekend. We'll see sunshine Saturday and increasing clouds on Sunday. Then we begin to change the pattern completely. Our high on Monday near normal, and then for the first time in quite some time, we're above normal for Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesday 61 looks awfully nice. I hear clapping over there.
This is why it's National Weather Person's Day. Hey.
Now, I didn't have anything to do with that. I am just the messenger.
Still 58-61, that deserves applause.
We'll take it.
As you do as well. Still ahead, four-legged thief. One sled dog decided to grab a journalist's camera. We'll tell you where the news crew finally found the expensive piece of equipment.
And we do have your winning Powerball numbers right here on your screen. 27, 29, 30, 37, 58. The Powerball's 15 and the multipliers too. Well, as we wrap things up, here's a look at a few of the headlines that we're following today. Another emotional morning in the courtroom of Austin Thompson's sentencing hearing. This morning, the wife of Gabriel Torres shared her victim impact statement. Torres was shot and killed in the deadly shooting in Raleigh's Headingham neighborhood in October of 2022 and was a Raleigh police officer. Austin's father, Alan Thompson, also spoke today. He described what Austin was like growing up, and we're going to continue to monitor the sentencing and bring you updates throughout our evening news.
Later today, we can expect an update on a deputy-involved shooting in Nash County that killed a man. A news conference will be held at 4 o'clock today. Investigators say a man was shot during a confrontation with deputies early this morning. It happened off Tom George Road. Deputies say they responded to a domestic dispute that turned violent and shots were fired.
Happening today, Cary Town Council is expecting to learn the results of an independent audit. The town's finances are under scrutiny after the former manager left. Sean Stiegel resigned months ago and is now under investigation. Town leaders say they are looking forward to receiving the report.
Harry Potter villain Draco Malfoy has cast a spell on China. So images of Malfoy are popping up ahead of the Year of the Horse. The sudden popularity is thanks to the Mandarin translation of Malfoy, which is Mar Fu, with Ma means horse and Fu means good fortune. Some question why Malfoy wasn't featured during the Year of the Snake, since he is part of the House of Slytherin. While the Lunar New Year, the Chinese New Year, begins February 17th.
Fascinating. Well, parents are using driverless cars to shuttle their children to destinations. In fact, Waymo offers services for riders between the ages of 14 and 17 in Phoenix and LA. Information can be shared with parents in real time, and up to 4 passengers can share a robo-taxi just as long as they are all older than 14. Rideshare platforms such as Uber have been offering access for teens to get around without a parent or guardian.
A curious sled dog in Greenland ran off with an Associated Press journalist's camera. Take a look. The $700 piece of equipment made for a very expensive chew toy. The crew eventually found the camera among sled dogs that they had been filming earlier. After the crew recovered the camera, they made a happy discovery because the dog managed to hit the record button, as you can see. So cute. The video shows the dog chewing the camera, running with it, and then hiding it underneath a sled.
Well, the resale value there goes there. Cute video, though. Cute dog.
Great POV.
The SPCA of Wake County says our pet of the day is the nicest cat you will ever meet. Cosmo is a 6-month-old short hair cat. He tends to kind of roll over and hold one of your hands while you pet him with the other. Cosmo is a very affectionate cat and pretty talkative. His adoption fee is $175. And just so you know, this does include his neuter, microchip, vaccines, and other wellness care. NBC News Daily is next on WRAL with your next local news update in about 30 minutes.
You can get breaking news updates anytime with our WRAL News app. Have a great day.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.